So let's just talk about useRef hook in React. So the useRef hook is basically used for two main purposes. First of all, we can use this for persisting value across multiple renders, and secondly we can use that to refer to one DOM element. So in case of this persisting value, so we can create one useRef using the useRef hook, and here we can pass one value. Now the useRef will return one mutable object with a current property. So here we can access this by using ref.current, and this will have the value 0. Now if we change this value of this ref.current, it will not cause a component to re-render, and this value can persist across multiple renders. And in case of refer to one DOM, so suppose we have one input element and we can add one ref attribute to refer to this input element. Now once we have reference to this input element or any other element, we can perform multiple operations, such as we can focus on this input field, and also we can perform different animation. So these are the key features of the useRef hook. So here in the app component we have this button, and on click of that button we are calling this increment function. Let's just create one useRef hook. So we're gonna call this countRef, and then we're gonna use the useRef hook to create the reference, and the initial value will be 0. So the countRef will have the initial value of 0, and whenever we click on this button we wanted to increase the value of the countRef. So to increase the value we have to use countRef.current and then increase the value by 1. So as we know, any change to this countRef will not re-render this component. So we're gonna console log the countRef.current value. So here we have the increment button. So if we click on that, you can see the count value is increasing. Now because the component is not re-rendering, so even though if we try to print that countRef.current value, so this value will not update. So here if we click on the increment, you can see the count value is increasing, but that is not reflecting here. That is because any change to this countRef.current is not re-rendering this component, so the changes are not updating to the UI. And also suppose we have one input element, so we can use the useRef hook to focus to that input element. So let's now create one useRef hook. So const, we're gonna call this focusRef, and we're gonna pass null here. So here we have to add one reference to that input field, so we're gonna use the ref attribute, and here we're gonna use the focusRef to refer to that input element. Now whenever we click on this button, we can focus to this input field. For this we have to use the focusRef.current.focus. So here if we click on this button, you can see we have focused to this input field. Instead we can do, whenever this component first renders, then we can focus to the input field. For that we can use the useEffect hook, and we can run the useEffect hook for the first time on render only. For this we have to use the empty dependency array. Now inside that we can run this focus method. So on render of this component, this useEffect will execute and our input field will have the focus. So here if we just refresh, so you can see our input field has the focus whenever the component renders. So this is the way we can use the useRef hook to create a mutable value which persists across different renders, and also we can refer to any DOM. So that's it for the video. See you in the next one. Take care.